Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie and today we're going to talk about Christmas jumpers. I am super excited about this video because every year around Christmas time I am thinking about casting on a Christmas sweater, and then I never really do it apart from once, and then I didn't even finish it until much later in the new year. So I thought I would give you a little overview, a pattern collection for all of the beautiful jumpers you can make, also for myself to look back. There are a lot of big name designers, but there are also some smaller ones which I think we should also support and not just always go for the mainstream Christmas jumper patterns that you normally go to every year anyways. Right, so grab your knitting, a cup of tea or coffee. I've got my cup of tea here and let's get started. The first pattern is the Festive Yolk pullover by Sandnes Knits, and it's actually what I am wearing. I made this pattern, or this sweater I should say, 2 years ago now, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I had a lot of fun. I used the recommended yarn, or at least back then the recommended yarn, which was Sandnes Garn Super Soft in this beautiful bright red and then the bleached white. I have to say it's not my favorite yarn. I would probably not work with it again, just because I found it very difficult, first of all, to work with, and then second of all, it's not as nice feeling as some other fingering weight yarns do on my skin. So I'd probably go for something different. The great thing about this pattern, apart from all of the sizes that you can choose from, it goes from 1 to 10 sizes with a positive ease of 0 to 8 centimeters, so also quite a big range. Here I made size 1 with 0 ease. It's very tight fitting. I would probably also change that in the next sweater if I were to make this again. But the great thing with this pattern is you can actually choose if you want the color work only at the yoke like I did, or if you want it throughout the whole sweater, and you can also change and swap the motif, which I think is an incredible idea. I saw this motif, like I saw someone else wear this jumper in a video way back, and I wanted to recreate the exact motifs that that person had on their sweater, so that's what I did. It's not the standard one she used in her pattern pictures, but I think it looks really nice. Obviously I have advanced in my color work skills as well. It is pulling quite a lot. I think that's also still with the yarn and the tight fit of this sweater. But overall I'm really happy with this. I remember the pattern was really well written. It costs €9.18, so I think also a very reasonable price for all of the options that you have. The second sweater that I have is from a very big name. It is by Pernilla Larsen. She is the designer behind Knitting for Olive, and it is the holiday sweater adult. I see this sweater every year, and every time I think I really need this in my wardrobe. I really want to make this. It's got this beautiful holly branch with some baubles in them. Rather simple, I would say, looking, but it's that simplicity what makes it exciting. I really like the background color, like a light grey or a beige, so the green and the red can really pop. You have the options to choose between XS to 4 up to 4XL, and you use a fingering weight yarn, 21 stitches, so a DK weight really, and 4mm and 3.5mm needles. Great design. I really do want to make this for myself, but we'll see when that will happen. Another sweater which I just fell in love with last year, because that one came out last autumn, is also by Pernilla Larsen. It is the Snow Sweater Adult. I love this design. I saw it on the kid sweater and I really wanted it for myself, so I was already trying to figure out how I can make it into an adult version, but then they came out with the adult version and I really like it. It's got this beautiful colorwork design, but just on the sleeves. The kids sweaters also have them at the bottom, which I think is even cuter than just on the sleeves. I would probably go for something like that if I was to make this myself. You have again sizes from XS up to 5XL, and you use a 3.5 and 4mm needle, so a standard DK sweater. If you go for the motif just on the sleeves, I think it's a really quick knit because it's just stockinette for the whole body and all the way up to, I would say, elbow length for both sleeves, and that's really when the colour work comes into play if you're not super advanced with colour work just yet. This might be a great project to begin with, but do bear in mind you have to work 3 coloured colour work, because on the sleeves you work with the dark blue, the green and the white all at the same time. So just bear that in mind. But other than that, I think if you're more advanced, that should be no problem. And I do want to make this one myself as well. Another classic Christmas sweater is the Northern Augustines No. 4 by Anne-Sophie Velling. She's a beautiful designer. That one was hyped last year at Christmas time from what I remember. Again, it's a yoked colourwork sweater. You just have the colourwork on the yoke. It looks to be very wide. Positive ease is 20 centimeters plus. You have sizes ranging from A to H, so a bust circumference from 80 to 150 centimeters. You work with a DK weight, I think, or even thicker. Needle size 6mm and 5mm, so that's even thicker than a DK weight. You use the heavy merino with 1 strand and a silk mohair as well, so that would be an Aran to worsted weight. It's a very beautiful design. Again, a little bit on the simpler side from motif wise. The ties by no means look simple to make. It's just from the visual aspect. It looks to be a little bit simpler. It costs just under €7. A great sweater if you want something wider, something to throw on, and for all those really chunky ribbed collar lovers, because it has a quite high neck. The next sweater is a free pattern. It is the Santa Baby by Hanne Rimmen, or Rimmen actually, because it's German. It is published in Filcolana. You can get the pattern for free. You use a DK weight, but the sizes are a little bit limited. It goes from an S to a 2XL, so it is not super size inclusive, but I think the motif is still really nice. You have those beautiful trees, almost Christmas trees looking like. Again, it is a yoked sweater, so you have all of the colour work at the top, and then the rest of the sweater is just knitted in a plain colour. You have a higher rib on the neck as well, but with a very beautiful detail, because the bind off is made in the contrast colour, which I think is just a really nice detail to have. To kind of pick up that colour change you have in the sweater on like the ends, the bind offs everywhere as well. You work with 3.5 to 4mm needles, so very standard DK, and the recommended yarn of course is Filcolana yarn, Filcolana Tilia, Pernilla or Alva. All 3 of them are used in this pattern, but I think if you would go for just 2 strands, it would also be fine. Next up we have another pattern by Anne-Sophie Velling. It is the Northern Augustines No. 6, and at first I wasn't too sure about this pattern, to be honest. I didn't really like the look because it looked very cluttered in my opinion at the top, but then I saw it so many times on other people and then I just kind of fell in love with it, so I had to include it in this list. It's another yoke, round yoke pattern. You use a DK weight, so 22 stitches is the stitch gauge. You need 3.5 and 4mm needles, and the sizes available are again from A to H. It costs just under €7 as well, and it is available in Danish, English and Norwegian. The Positive Ease is very big again as well. It is 20 centimeters, just like the other sweater as well, and you work with multiple colors at the same time once again. So from what I can tell, you need at least 3 colors at once. So again, if you're not super advanced in that color working spectrum, it might not be the best pattern to start with, but I think it's a very cute design. You have lots and lots of little motifs and a really high collar once again, and a bit oversized, so you can just throw it on, and it's not super Christmassy in my opinion. Yes, of course the themes are Christmas themes, but I think you could also wear this still way into, let's say, January or before Christmas, so November. So it's not super specific with just Christmas themes. Then we have Winter Pines by Enarad Endormi. I am not sure if I pronounced it correctly, but I'm pretty sure she is French. She's a smaller designer. To be honest, I've never heard from her before, but her sweater is absolutely beautiful. It is a Christmas jumper with those beautiful elks or reindeers or whatever you want to call them. You need 3.25mm and 4mm needles, and you do work with the DK weight, so 22 stitches is the stitch gauge. The pattern costs €10.84, so it is a little bit pricier, but I mean, she's a small designer, so let's support them as well. Positive Ease is between 0 to 10 centimeters, and you have a lot of different sizes. You have children, women and men. I'm just focusing on the women's sizes. It goes from XS all the way up to 4XL, so a really big range. And I'm also really happy to see that she included them not only for women but also for children and men. So for the price point of this pattern, you do really get a lot. It only has 15 projects, so I would recommend going through the notes and see what people said about it. But from just looking at it, it's a very beautiful design. You have the color work on the yoke, but also on the sleeves and a little bit on the body, which I'm really happy to see. It's not always just the yoke, it's also somewhere else. And from what I can tell, there's absolutely nothing wrong. No one has complained about any like big things that are wrong with the pattern, and I would just say go try it out and make a beautiful Christmas jumper for your children or your men in your life or yourself. Bows of Holly sweater by Hannah or Herb Garden Knitwear has been in my library for super long, but it is such a beautiful pattern. It is an overall color work sweater. It is a yoke sweater as well, but you have color work just everywhere. The motif is rather simple, and it looks also repetitive, so you might be able to remember a little bit better than if it were something different every other row. Sizes is from 2XS all the way up to 5XL, although she just mentioned in the pattern description that from the XL sizes she didn't get any pattern testers. So if you are willing to make this pattern and you want to make one of those sizes, bear in mind that there could be some mistakes, but also you can then tell her and say, look, I've done it, it's either fine or this and that has to be changed, which is also really cool. You use an Aran weight. The stitch gauge is 18 and you need 4.5 and 4mm needles, and the pattern costs €8. So it should be a little bit quicker with a thicker yarn and thicker needles than those other like fingering weight sweaters. And positive ease wise, it is between 2 and 4 centimeters, so I think also very reasonable. If you want it a little bit bigger, you do have the option to either go up or down a size with all those different sizes available that you have. Speaking of all over colour work, again we have Sophie Velling. I really should have grouped them together, I'm just realizing. It is the Northern Augustines No. 9. I'm really sorry about this. I didn't even notice when I was preparing for this video that I have her in this list so often, but her designs just scream Christmas and they're very, very fitting. This one was published this year, November 2025, so it's very new. You work in a DK weight, 24 stitches. Is the stitch gauge, again, is just under €7, and the pattern size, the sweater size, is from A to H. And this one is an all over colour work sweater as well. It is a yoke one, so you start with the yoke and then the colour work is mostly on the lower portion, so the body and the sleeve. Very, very delicate designs and something you don't really see in other motifs of like sweater motifs, because not only do you have bows and hearts, you also have those really nice looking men and women holding hands that goes all around the sweater. And also it's, in my opinion, quite Nordic inspired, especially on the sleeves. It has like those tile motifs, or at least I know them from tiles. Very, very beautiful. If you are a colour work lover with extreme colour work all over your sweater, this one actually might be for you. The ease, again, is approximately 20 centimeters, so she is an ease lover, I would say. Just some wider fitting sweaters. So go and check that one out. It's a beautiful pattern and it's really, really new as well. Then we have a Sandnes Garn pattern. It is the Christmas sweater number 24, underline 04. It is by Sandnes Garn themselves, and sadly you can't get the pattern on Ravelry. I always think that is such a big shame, because they have so many beautiful patterns, but sometimes I just want that one pattern and not the whole booklet. So you'd have to go to the website and see if it's available in your country to just get that one, or if it's in a booklet and you have to buy the whole book. It does say all of that in the pattern description as well, but the design is absolutely beautiful. It just screams Christmas, in my opinion. It is a yoke sweater, just like all of the other ones. You have repeating motifs, but it's very colourful. You have a reindeer, a Christmas tree, and some really beautiful like stars or flowers. The recommended yarn is Sandnes Garn Tin Peer Gind, so it is a fingering weight sweater. The stitch gauge is 27 stitches and you work on 3 and 2.5mm needles. Sizes available are from XS all the way up to 5XL, and it looks to be very wide as well, so the positive ease is probably also between 0 to 10 centimeters. That's just from what I can tell. I could be completely wrong on that one. But if you would like to have a look at this pattern, definitely go to their website and then see where you can get it or how you can continue. Another beautiful pattern, but with a slight hook, is the 277/4 Jugenser Dame by Rauma Designs. This one is only available in the print version, which is it's such a shame because a lot of us can't get to those patterns. So you just have to see if you can get it in your country, like I said with the other one before. It is a DK weight sweater, round yoke, worked on 3.5 and 4.5 millimeter needles. The recommended yarn is of course a Rauma yarn, and the sizes available are from XS to XXL, so 2XL. Could be a bit more inclusive, but again, that's Rauma and Sandnes Garn. They are not super, like, they don't have many size ranges. For this one, to be honest, I can't really see anything about positive ease. I could be wrong just by skimming over it. It's a really nice design. You have those classic elks on the top as well, and the colour work extends all the way to the arms and the body, so it's an all over colour work sweater again, but this time you only work with 2 colours, which should be a little bit simpler. The motifs, from what I can tell, are not repeating themselves. Obviously what you have on the body is also on the sleeve, but just from like the lines that they create, it shouldn't be the same, which is also really fun, because with every new section you have something new to learn and something new to make. So such a big shame that that one also isn't on Ravelry. I would really like to make this, because in the pictures itself they model it with a beautiful thick skirt, and I think that would just be the perfect Christmas outfit. So I'm also gonna have a look and see where I can get this pattern from. And the last one is something that has been in my queue for a really long time as well. It came out last November. It is called Rudolph by Novita Design Studios, and this one is actually a free pattern. It is an all over colourwork sweater, again round yoke sweater, but you only have the really like graphic scenes at the top on the yoke. Sizes available are from XS to 5XL, and you work with the DK weight, so 3.5 and 4 millimeter needles. Let's have a look. Positive ease wise, they're not mentioning anything, but again with the finished measurements that you have in the description, you can really tailor the sweater to your liking. From what I can tell, the bust circumference generally starts with 80 centimeters, and the finished measurements here for the smallest size is 92. So I would say positive ease wise it's between 0 and 10 centimeters, but again you choose the size on how much ease you want to have with the finished garment kind of anyways. Beautiful design. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is that the yoke is fairly deep. It goes down to almost the middle of her arm, so it might be a very slouchy sweater, and when you lift your arms everything bunches up. That's just the nature of yoke sweaters, but I really like it because it's also very Christmassy. You have the red and white with the green combination, beautiful reindeers at the front, and some Christmas trees as well. I am not sure about short rows, if you have any on the body, because they are definitely not on the neck. Maybe add that in as well, because it helps the sweater to fit a lot better than if you didn't. But if you're not too keen on it, it's not a must. It's something just that I would do, and like I said, it has been in my queue for a really long time as well, so I will get around to making this one eventually. Right, those were all of my Christmas sweater ideas. Some really beautiful ones in there, some that have been in my queue and have been wanting to make them for a really long time as well. I hope you found some inspiration and some new ideas. If you did, and if you liked this video, leave a thumbs up and let me know in the comment what you would like to make out of these patterns. And yeah, let's have a great Christmas time. Let's knit some beautiful sweaters, and I'm gonna see you next time. Happy knitting. Bye.